Entertainment Online, Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Oh, that was another good one, but that one hurt because of the allergy season. Now my allergies are back and my allergies are kicking again. If it's not from the keto, it's then from the allergies. The good news on the keto, we're dropping off close to 9 pounds in 3 weeks. Oh, what a fun 3 weeks it's been. And I was thinking about it today. I was going through the Giants 2019 season, and I was looking at the 2020 in reference to the receiving core. Basically, what we have is Golden Tate, Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, and a bunch of ifs. And I know that the 4,368 undrafted free agents we brought in are all going to turn into Victor Cruzes. I know that. But you know what? We have to start thinking realistically about this season. And I thought to myself, who would be the key to the receiving core this year? And a lot of people will say it's going to be Darius. But in my mind, I'm thinking it's got to be Golden Tate. Golden Tate is not the lone professional, but he is the elder statesman in the receiving core. He is the guy. Golden Tate has been around since 2010. I did not know he was been around that long. Of course, out of Notre Dame, the Golden Domer. He was in Detroit, Seattle, with the Eagles, and then with us. He's had 3,000-yard receiving seasons. I didn't know he only had 44 career touchdowns. I thought he actually had more than that for some odd reason. But, he's been around forever. He is the consummate professional. He is the guy that you look to in the big spot. Has he always been the number one option? No. But if you need a catch and you need someone to come in reliably, Golden Tate has always been the guy. Now, if you break down the 2019 receiving between our three starting receivers, they all pretty much started 10 games, except Darius only started 9, Golden started 10, Sterling started 10. And you look at the targets, it's very eerie that Golden Tate had 85 targets, Darius had 84, Sterling Shepard had 83. So they all had similar amounts of targets, but if you take a look at their actual rest of the season, it's kind of up and down. I mean, if you take a look at Sterling Shepard, he had 57 receptions and for 576 yards at 10.1 yards a catch. I didn't know his yards per catch was so low. And if I go back and actually look at his career totals, he's always been around 10, if not a little over. And I find it interesting because I remember when we dumped Odell, the whole thing was Sterling was going to be the guy. Sterling was going to come in and Sterling was going to basically, fill in the Odell spot. But if you take a look at it, he never really had the opportunity or had the catch level or had the consistency off of the catches in reference to yards after to fill in the Odell spot. I mean, it's something that if you really think about it, he never really had that. He was never that type of wide receiver. He's always a guy that always sits well. He's a check down guy. He sits well into the zone. He's a guy that's going to get you that tough. He's going to get you those tough 10, 12 yards, which is what you need, which every offense needs. He's also a guy that's going to give you a nice high catch percentage. His catch percentage last year was 68.7. And for his career, he's at 65.2. I believe he actually finished a full 10 points higher than both Darius and Golden Tate in reference to catch percentage, which is very interesting. Like I said, so when you target him and throw him the ball, he's going to catch the ball. He's going to catch the ball 68.7% of the time, which is fantastic. But he's more of the check down option in some ways. He's, like I said, he's the guy that finds a soft spot in the zone. He's going to take the underneath route. And then Darius is supposed to be our big gun, our deep guy. Like I said, he did have 15.4 yards per reception. His catch percentage was only 57.1%. But again, I don't think a lot of that because he's a rookie. He was a rookie last year, so. But like I said, of course he led the all starting wide receivers with 8 touchdowns, and he did that in a limited time. Only starting 9 games. So, but the problem is with Darius, you really can't rely on Darius right now because we don't know what year 2 is going to offer. We can all sit there and hope and pray that year 2 for Darius Slayton is going to be beyond fantastic. We can hope and pray that who now has a full season of film on him and will make the proper adjustments. We have to hope that Darius in his minds understands that and makes the adjustments to what the league is going to throw at him now, because there's going to be no more surprises with Darius Slayton. There have been some great wide receivers, rookie wide receivers, who had fantastic first years, and then all of a sudden in year 2 just dropped off the face of the planet. I was thinking of one guy in particular because he kind of reminds me of a little bit of Darius, and he was a wide receiver that was taken in 2004 by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, named Michael Clayton. Everyone might remember Michael Clayton because he did play for the Giants for 2 years, 2010 and 2011. In 2004, Clayton came into the league, had 80 receptions, 1,193 yards, and 14.9 yards with 7 touchdowns. Everyone thought that he was going to be a world beater. We all thought that he was the guy that was coming. I mean, guys in Tampa thought, you know what? This is the guy that is really going to be a standout wide receiver for years to come for Tampa Bay. His highest receiving total after that year was in 2008 at 484 yards. Why? The league adjusted to Michael Clayton, and then that was it. That was the end of that. Now, I'm not saying that the league is going to adjust as well as they did to Michael Clayton as they did with Darius Slayton. I mean, I'm not saying Darius Slayton's going to be a Michael Clayton. I'm saying we just have to be concerned that Darius may have a slightly down year or down season in 2020 because, like I said, he's no longer a surprise. He's no longer a guy that the people are going to be like, he's no longer going to be an afterthought. He is now going to be a focal point to the Giants offense, and the league is going to key on that. So like I said, I cannot count on Darius right now. Maybe I can in week 5 or 6 to be that main guy. So who does that leave us with unless you choose one of our 368 undrafted rookie free agents? It's going to be Golden Tate. Golden Tate the professional. Golden Tate, he's still at 31, had 49 receptions for 676 yards, 13.8 yards a catch, 6 touchdowns with the longest run of 64 yards, which I find funny because outside of Barkley, who had a catch of 65 yards, that is the longest reception for the Giants for the season, which is kind of interesting. You know what? I'm sorry, I've rephrased that. Evan Ingram, I forgot about the Tampa game, had the 75-yard touchdown catch. So it would be the 3rd longest reception for the Giants in the 2019 season. And that's pretty good for a guy that's 31 years old. Golden Tate has always been a guy that can find the holes in the defense. Golden Tate has always been the guy that can stretch the field. And I find it interesting. Golden Tate has football speed, which means when you're on the field, you play faster than you look. If you took a stopwatch to Golden Tate, I don't think you would be impressed. Just in shorts and a t-shirt, I don't think you would be impressed. But I think like I said, you put him in the pads, you put him in the game, the precision that he runs his routes, it's phenomenal. I would have loved to have seen a full season of Eli Manning and Golden Tate. Eli, of course, had to start the first 2 games of the season with basically no wide receivers outside of Shepard, and everyone's like, "Well, he's a bum. Look how well that Daniel Jones did." Yeah, Daniel Jones also had a full complement of receivers. He did lose Saquon Barkley. I'll give him that. But we need to understand that Eli never had the complement of receivers that Daniel Jones had. Now, I'm not saying that's good for Eli. I'm not saying that's bad for Daniel Jones. I'm not getting into that debate because I don't care, because Eli's gone. He's gone. He's Shane, come back. He's rode off into the pastures. But you know what? Golden has to be the guy this year. And he may only be the guy for 1 more year, because I don't see him coming back. I don't see the Giants picking him up and keeping him next year. I see the Giants dumping him next year and trying to go to, find a young wide receiver to go with the core of Slayton, Shepard, and maybe Victor Benjamin or somebody else. But you know what? Like I said, right now, it's got to be Golden Tate that steps up. And does he have the capabilities to be that number 1 option for the Giants? I don't know. And like I said, I'm a little scared that we're going to rely on a guy that's 31, almost 32, to be the number 1 option and to be the number 1 wide receiving professional. I get a little worried that in some ways, Gettleman has neglected the receiving core. He's neglected it to the point that we have Golden Tate, Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, and a cast of unknown. It reminds me in some ways when our old buddy Jerry Reese spent years neglecting the linebackers. But the only problem with Gettleman is he's also spent time neglecting the edge rushers. You know what? We can only hope right now that Golden Tate is going to have one more season in the sun. Because I think after this, like I said, I just have a feeling, you hit 32, 33, you know what, the speed's not there, the legs aren't there, and who knows what's going on with old Golden Tate. But again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you can like, if you can subscribe, if you can ring that bell, I think you know what that means. That'd be awesome.